Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Well, first, thank you for coming out on this stormy day. But this is important to all of us, to everyone that's here. So I thank you for being a part of this celebration and groundbreaking event. My name is Kari Steele, and I'm president of the MWRD Board of Commissioners. With me today are my colleagues that I'm going to introduce, and you guys please wave when I call your name. Vice President Barbara McGowan, Director of Finance Commissioner Frank Avila, Commissioner Cam Davis,
hey everybody,
Commissioner Kim Neely Dubuclay, Commissioner Deborah Shore, and not with us today, but I would also like for them to be recognized, is Commissioner Marcelino Garcia, Commissioner Josina Morita, and Commissioner Mariana Spiropoulos. We also have our Executive Director, Brian Perkovich, here as well. So, in a few weeks, we will be celebrating 130 years at the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. In 1889, the General Assembly adopted legislation to create sanitary districts to protect the source of our drinking water. We have come a long way since then. We reversed the flow of the Chicago River, we constructed 7 wastewater treatment plants, and we embarked on creating one of the country's largest public work projects for pollution and flood control, known as the Deep Tunnel Reservoir Plan, also known as TARP or the Deep Tunnel. But of course, this wasn't enough. We asked the General Assembly for even more responsibilities. In 2004, we asked our legislators to grant us stormwater management authority throughout Cook County. And it is with that authority that allows us to work on projects to improve the quality of life for residents and provide an environment that is conducive for business. So we are thrilled to be in a position to break ground on this long-awaited project that will remove 70 structures from the FEMA floodplain. The existing dam and outlet culvert will be demolished and replaced with a new concrete dam, outlet culvert, and spillway. An eroded bank at the south side of the lake will be regraded and restored with native seed, plant plugs, and trees. This $1.6 million project also calls for raising and resurfacing portions of the existing bike trail, as well as constructing a new trail spur to reach 131st Street. We would like to thank project contractor IHC Construction Companies and design engineer Jacobs Engineering Group in advance for their work and commitment to this project. We also need to give credit to our hardworking engineers who have spent many years working for us to get to this point. Catherine O'Connor, our Director of Engineering, if you're here, raise your hand. Bill Sheriff, Assistant Director to Engineering. Joe Kratzer, Greg Cook, Justin Kirk, and Eddie Polino. None of this activity could happen without the support and partnership from the village of Palos Heights. I would like to invite Palos Heights Mayor Robert Straz to say a few words. Mayor Straz.
Thank you, Kari. Just on behalf of all the 70-plus residents that were affected by this, I just want to thank all the jurisdictions that were involved in this pulling this off. It's been a long time coming. I've been in office 18 years, and this started long before I was in office. But I think a lot of it has to do with the recent CalSag Watershed Conference and meetings we've had over the last 4 or 5 years, where we've looked at different planning and flooding in the area and tried to address it. And that's where this all comes down to. But again, thank you everyone who was involved in this, because it was not just one person. It was many, many agencies that were involved in this, and hopefully it's just for the residents that live in this area. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Not only will there be an increased stormwater storage at Arrowhead Lake, there will be improved amenities for the public in the forest preserve as well. We know that projects of this magnitude can interfere with activities, so during construction, pedestrian access to the forest preserve trail system will be maintained through a series of temporary bypass trails throughout the work zones. I would now like to invite Arnold Randall, General Superintendent of the Cook County Forest Preserve District, to speak more on the amenities.
Thank you. Thank you, President Steele. Again, my name is Arnold Randall. I'm the General Superintendent of the Forest Preserves of Cook County. Welcome to Arrowhead Lake. We're glad to have you here, even though the weather is not quite cooperating, but it's still a beautiful day. Forest preserves are not quite as old as the MWRD, but we are over 100 years old. And we were founded in 1914. Our mission really was to acquire, restore, and manage lands for the purpose of protecting and preserving public open space. So we're not parks, we're natural spaces. In a natural state for education, pleasure, recreation, and for the public now and in the future. That remains our guiding vision. Today, the Forest Preserves of Cook County are the largest forest preserve system of its kind in the country, almost 70,000 acres of land. And we have over 60 million visits each year. And we're a place where native plants and animals can thrive. And we have more than 100 endangered species here in the Forest Preserves of Cook County. Arrowhead Lake and the surrounding preserves can be seen as a snapshot of what the preserves have to offer here in Cook County. This lake itself is one of the more than 40 fishing areas that exist in the forest preserves, with opportunities for anglers to catch bluegill, sunfish, and largemouth bass. We have a picnic grove right off 135th Street. As you drove in, you probably saw that. We have hosted numerous outdoor family events throughout the years. Our Tinley Creek Trail system also includes a nearly 10-mile-long paved loop. It runs through the preserves at Arrowhead Lake and connects with another 10-mile system that offers bikers and people taking a walk and strollers or going for a run as a great opportunity to get outdoors and enjoy nature. These trails take visitors over gently rolling hills, through prairies and forests, alongside wetlands and ravines. Much of this area was in agricultural use before it became forest preserve. But now we've protected it for the long term. And there's also the uses for people, but certainly it's also for a rich diversity of amphibians, frogs and toads and salamanders, and acres of upland oak hickory woodland. The Forest Preserves of Cook County, the MWRD of Greater Chicago, and the city of Palos Heights each have our own mission, and it's to serve the residents of this area and the region. This project is an excellent example of communication and collaboration. I just want to acknowledge, you talked about Catherine O'Connor and some of the folks, your staff, and my staff worked very hard to work through the details of this. It's a very complicated project, and we wanted to make sure that it met the goals of MWRD, but also it met the goals of the Forest Preserve, that we were able to keep the trail system open and connected for people even through the work time. And at the end of the day, that there's some new amenities or improvements that would come to the Forest Preserve users as well. So I have to thank your staff for all that hard work. Forest Preserve President Tony Preckwinkle and our Board of Commissioners and my staff and I are always looking at how we can improve the forest preserves here in Cook County, and we're committed to working with partners to do that. At Arrowhead Lake, I can say that as this project unfolds and when it's complete, this property will continue to be it will be beautiful and continue to do just that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arnold Randall. So we look forward to seeing this project completed by the end of the year. And now, with that being said, on this rainy, wet day, let's get these shovels in the ground and have this groundbreaking ceremony come to an end. We'll take a picture, and I thank you all so much for coming out. Thank you.
1, 2, 3. All right.
Stand back there, too.
All right.